What's up, freaks? Today, make a Path of Burning Steps build. This is just kind of going to guide you what to do for making builds, because Lightfall's right around the corner. You have to figure out what new builds work and adapt these things. So, D2 Armor Picker, my favorite website. Resilient, you're going to want tier 10. Lightfall is going to go down to 30%. Right now it's 40%. Nice to have. Discipline, I'm always 100 kind of guy. And then down here, you could pick whatever exotic you want. Let's say we're making Path of Burning Steps build, we'll do that. And this top one right here, I go ahead and click that. And if we are really inclined, you can see these wasted numbers here. For me at least, my Path of Burning Steps build, or my Path of Burning Steps, like the exotic, I have a really high mobility, so that is going to be taken into account for these wasted stats. So we could go with one of these, like this 11, but we're going to go ahead and go with this 19. So I need this Caber's Battle Cage, Tusk Legion's Gauntlets, Tusk Legion's Plate, and then obviously the Path of Burning Steps. So, we have the helmet. Arms are something I use a lot, just something I use a lot, and there's the Path of Burning Steps, and we will keep a solar mark. So because we're going to be on Path of Burning, we need a solar subclass. I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Throwing Hammer. I prefer fusion nades, but we may go healing nades, just kind of depends how this plays out. Warring Flame, Soul, Invictus as always. I like the idea to come Radiant, so that whenever we don't have that damage buff, we can have it, and that's also good. Scorch Start, I don't know if we need Scorch Stacks. I know for a fact we don't need Searing, so we could change that to Empyrean. Since we'll be getting kills, we won't need to worry about popping Radiant as much. And then also, actually I'm not going to say also because I think that's all we need there. Now for our armor, I like double Ashes assets for my super back quickly, but in this build we're not looking for super back. So, let me make some Lords of Power, I guess, which maybe Lightfall, Lords of Power are the way to go. This can work out perfectly fine. And then we can add on a well of Ordnance, because we'll be picking up a bunch of solar elemental wells. Or, actually, never mind. This is a gun damage build. We're going Font of Might. We'll keep elemental charge on here. And we could use a loader if you so choose, but I'm not going to, as I don't think we need it that bad. And then on our chest piece, we want our 2 resistances. And then we already have a elemental ordnance, so we'll do a Font of Might here. On my Burning Steps, we will go on a Recuperation and a Innovation. So when we pick up an Orb of Power, we get health and grenade back, pretty much. And then more Font of Mights for more time. And then I actually want to use a Stasis Cloak or Stasis Mark. So for that, I'm going to take this one. And I want Time Dilation for even more Font of Might time, so we're going to go ahead and change that. And then we're on Time Dilation. And then also, these mods don't really matter as much. And we can make sure we have 100 resilience. Oh. Got 3 Font of Might, 1 elemental time dilation, and 1 elemental ordnance. One thing we could do is elemental armaments, but personally, this is I'm pretty sure this is one well every 5 to 9 kills, so it isn't as consistent as just throwing a nade and then sitting in some spot, personally. So let's go ahead and change our drip a little bit. That actually looks pretty nice. Sure, Iron Cow Shade it is. And now we can use, I was going to use Vix Masterclass, but we could use Taraba. Burning Steps is a stacking damage, so as you get kills, you get more. We're going to want that. and then we can use Heat and Vengeance or just any solar, and then the top doesn't really matter. Alright, let's test this out. Alright, so we have the moon as battleground. So let's see how this build goes. My ideology is you throw a nade, but it could be we just change it to be hammer since we're going to need it for getting radiant for melee wall maker. That could definitely work. This build shouldn't be that restrictive. But as you can see on the left, we have Firewalker. Firewalker is starting to turn up. That's good. We want Firewalker. Go ahead and get our Radiant as well on top of the Firewalker, because Radiant doesn't stack with Firewalker, although at 1 to 2 stacks of it is not as strong as Radiant. So it's nice to have for that initial start. But after that initial start, it's kind of whatever. And now we have this Font of Might up, which stacks on top of the Path of Burning Steps, which in Lightfall, that is going to be tied to your boots. So you can see we're pretty much frying stuff here. Mode. Oh, we can't get him in time, that's fine. It seems like we're out of Font of Might, so we're gonna need to restack that up. And that rocket almost killed as well. Dang. Got some blueberries today. Now I'm more of an ability based kind of guy, so it's actually kind of out of my realm of builds to make, but for Lightfall I definitely wanted to try something like this, so I thought it would be kind of cool to have. So that's why we're making this today. And my Firewalker is now out, which kind of sucks, but that's fine, because he is dead. Kills. We got Extreme Ordnance still. I don't have Unstoppable. That sucks. He's just gonna be walking towards me, I guess. I'm down. Now, I believe Resilience is getting changed, which is a good thing. Resilience is a bit strong right now, so I am perfectly fine with that. As you can see, I just ate a Unstoppable for a few seconds as he beamed me. This entire build seems to just be a use it. I think what I'm actually going to do right now is, instead of this nade charge, nade takes a while to get up. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to Melee Wellmaker. Melee Wellmaker will always be up for us because we always have our hammer. So just that ability of that is nice to have. Okay, so I went ahead and swapped to Taraba. That is an exotic I haven't used a lot recently, aside from PvP. But I find it pretty fun. And since it's solar, we can get our help from Firewalker on it. So 1 stack of Firewalker isn't too much. This is where you'll have Radiant doing more damage than it. But as you stack up Firewalker and Ravenous Beast, you won't need to worry about Radiant in yourself. And then you can also have your Font of Might up right now. So we're Radiant and Font of Might, but also with that Firewalker times 2. So Firewalker damage buff is taking over. And we should be frying stuff if I'm allowed. We can go ahead and pop Ravenous Beast, and you can see this guy's health bar pretty much disappear. Now, probably the hardest part about this build, from what I'm seeing, is getting that Font of Might stack, which isn't hard by any means. Just whenever you don't have Roaring Flames, it can be rough. I also don't know how long it's lasting. As you see on the left, it's flooded under the many buffs that we already have on. So I don't know how much I have time-wise, whether it should be around 25 seconds or more. I'm not quite sure. But we are definitely frying, as you can see, at 4 times Firewalker stacks. This is an unstoppable, and I'm still doing plenty of damage to him, even without him getting stunned. Just as a reference, that Blade Barrage did almost as much as me. I think that this is a... Taraba is probably the way to go here. Vex is also a good choice if you prefer Vex or don't have Taraba, as Taraba does cost 240 spoils. So that's perfectly understandable if you don't have that. We need to get our Phantomite sack, and then we can just go. And I am glad that Phantomite is staying. It is being changed to boots once again on Lightfall, so I will probably upload this video, and then it will be changed in a month. It will be updated as well. If there's some interest in it, I don't mind updating this build. It is definitely going to be a fun build. I may use it in day one, depending what it is. Just like the raid wise, and whether an SMG is viable or if Vex is viable, I may use it there, you know? Alright, so due to us not needing our fusion nade for that Phantomite stack anymore, now we're doing it with melee, I decided we are going to run healing nades, but once again, that's something up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. Once again, personal preference. That's the end of the day, how these builds work. I give you this kind of platform, you can change it however you want. Builds are very allowing for you to do whatever you want to them. You don't have to run exactly this or exactly this. The only like must run is the exotics and sometimes the weapons. Like for this build, you have to run Path of Burning Steps, but you also have to run a solar weapon. That kind of idea. We're not able to keep Ravenous Beast up, maybe? Maybe I can get back up. Get more with more damage you deal, but nothing's spawning, so I can't keep it up. Looks like. That's my last stack. This is definitely going pretty well. I was able to get that kill. 75k on that no debuff enemy was 4 times. That's not bad. We add on a Phantomite, it would be a lot more. It'd be 25% more. So that would be about 20k. It'd be around 100k of a rocket if I had max stacks plus Phantomite on. I think it's a pretty good number. And also, since we have Empyrean, I can restore myself, but like give myself restoration, but it won't actually go away as I'm keeping these kills up and everything with the Taraba just frying everything. As Empyrean is, as you get kills, it refreshes your Radiant and Restoration. See if we can get that Phantomite up first. And then pop Ravenous Beast. Go ahead and get some Firewalker up. Ourselves. Right. And then get that Phantomite and bang. 100k almost. That's pretty good. I think that is a pretty good amount. And then obviously our Taraba will also do a ton of damage as it's also a solar weapon. And that's with Firewalker times 4 plus the Phantomite, we're doing 100k that rocket. That's a large number, personally. I feel as if that is a good number, you know? 100k, that's about a linear shot. And current sandbox. In Lightfall, those are also getting nerfed, the linears, so no one really knows what meta is. But I can expect it to be rockets Izzy swapping on the first go, as normally the meta is rockets first go until you figure it out. It may be machine guns, it may be GLs, hot swapping. We don't know what it could be. It could still be linears after this nerf. The nerf could not mean much. So that's kind of the thought process I'm going through for what meta will be. So I'm just trying to make some builds to get that started. The first week or so of Lightfall, I'll keep posting these builds to help you guys get some sort of foundation on how to make a build and what you can use in your day one raid if you're doing that, and if not, something you can do in your higher end content that you run later.